participate in it.
Yes, and I choose not to participate personally.
Well, that's some people need this. That's how we're completely different. That's why we work. Where I need recognition, whatever the word is,
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't care. Forget about me too. I don't even have a name in your mind.
Yeah, yes. So not everyone deals with their trauma the same. That can be issues we talk about in other podcasts or whatever, but yeah, not everyone deals with it the same. I'm grateful to have B though, to spend the day with and to troubleshoot trauma with. I don't know, you know what I mean? Get through it.
Some of our conversations get pretty deep,
For sure.
and I mean, we've been talking about doing a soul shelter for 6, 7 months now, and um, I've been advertising it for probably
Couple of few
four
months, yeah.
months, and it just hasn't worked out on our dates that we had planned. But here we are, and we're doing the best we can.
Yes.
We we could use some technical guys that could,
We're
could do
working
some.
through technical issues just as swiftly as possible.
Yes, for real. And some of them we just have to ignore because we just want to be here for you. I don't necessarily think that it's how good of quality the videos are, as much as the message and the content that we're trying to push
And the
out.
intention behind it, I think, is
Yes,
good.
yes, yes, most definitely. Um, we again are just winging this and are unsure of all the topics we're going to talk about. So if no one asks questions, I guess we're just talking more about the show. But uh, we do urge you to get help if you need it. Don't don't wait because even when we're going through the trauma, there's things that we don't realize. Our brain is forming thoughts and opinions and beliefs on, which I'm calling trauma beliefs, and it's hard to get those out later to even know what they are.
Or when your family gaslights and manipulates you so much into believing you haven't been through anything. It took a therapist to let me know that I had been through severe trauma. So, like, sometimes it is somebody else stepping in and saying, that's not quite right, or you shouldn't have had to go through that, for you to be able to see that what you're dealing with
Right. And as
is
we were
not right.
discussing before, is like, um, when this is going on and you're being urged to go a different way than your gut is telling you, um,
Yes.
it your gut feeling becomes void, or you feel chaotic when you're not going against your gut feeling and you're making decisions based on these and how wrong they are for you.
Yes, it can steer your life out of control if you're not careful. But yeah, being taught to not trust your intuition and your gut is detrimental
Oh
to
yeah.
your health and everything else.
Well, and it can put you in some very bad situations that can make more trauma for yourself.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
Not realizing that you're making decisions on trauma based
Thinking,
beliefs.
yeah.
It, it's really complicated. It can be. I was 38. Were you 38? Is that when you're? It's crazy because we're not the same age. But when I hit 38, I came to a
Realization.
realization, sorry, of many trauma beliefs that was in my head that I did not understand. And I had for 38 years been making decisions based upon these beliefs that weren't real. Just only in my head were they real.
Yeah, and I prayed for
And
clarity, and like I was just lost in confusion. I did not understand. I didn't even understand my own like way of thinking. You know?
right, no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't. My brain didn't think that way,
Yeah.
and my brain thought A, B, and C,
Mm-hmm.
and did not consider there was a D, F, or G.
Yeah.
And I really made some horrific decisions in my life to do some horrific things. Um, and or felt like I didn't have a choice and did things I didn't want to do because of these beliefs. And that's really terrifying that I did that, and that it's even more terrifying to believe that there's some other people out there doing the same things.
Yes.
And so we want to help you realize that, so that you're not 38
Yes.
when you, I don't know if that
Yes.
magic number is, if that's that magic number for you. So you're not 38 when you're realizing, holy crap.
What have I been? What have I done?
What have I been thinking? What have
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta rethink my whole life, redo my whole.
It is because it hits you like a ton of bricks once you finally have the deep realization.
And that can create its own depression.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, its own depression, because you can't even trust your own brain
Right?
at that point.
You don't trust
And
anything. Anyone. It's tough.
no, I get that. I get that it's tough.
Mm.
And it's crazy, because when you're out there doing these things, you're also putting unmarked or unintended tattoos on people you say you love.
Yes. Yes.
And that's hard, especially if you realize after they're gone. I mean, that's regret you got to live with for the rest of your life once you realize it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
No. Mm-mm. I'm grateful for the realizations I had, though, whenever I started dealing and processing trauma, because I have a child, and it made me realize like accountability and the responsibility to tell the truth and let that truth be known.
Whatever the consequences.
Yeah, and apologize for my way of thinking when I was kind of lost in trauma.
Yeah,
my actions.
No, for real. I mean, it's very hard to think about, like all the mornings you wake up angry with no explanation as to why you're angry. It's with no explanation as to why you're angry. That's probably definitely a point where you should seek professional help. Why do I keep waking up angry?
Yeah.
And it's because subconsciously, things are not the way they should be, and or they're not the way you want them to be.
Yeah.
Even if you think you're happy at the moment. Because we also, in our traumas, give ourselves fake realities of happiness.
Yes.
Kind of live in our own little fantasy world, even though it's not outlandish or and it's accepted to our friends and family. It's still not the one for you. I mean, it's happened.
Yeah.
I don't know about it. Trickles into our relationships.
Trickles everywhere. You convince yourself that everything is going well, that you're surrounded by people who truly care about you. But when the shit hits the fan, I mean, that'll tell you everything, literally. Those people who stick by your side, the people who make excuses for what happened to you or don't want to hear about it, but they still want to be in your life.
Or say it happened, but not in the manner you believe it.
Right. Or just minimize it to the point it doesn't need to be minimized. It needs to be talked about, processed, and worked through, but people they just want to minimize it and sweep it under a rug and keep things neat and tidy.
And or talk about it behind your back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, or that.
And that in itself can be, especially if it's a tattoo you didn't give yourself, if it's a tattoo somebody else put on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being labeled something that you're not, because it's not your mark that you're wearing, and it's hard to roll that off, truly. And especially when you're like society, and I know, like you're like, I don't care what people think.
I don't, and I do, but I don't, because I'm in I processed enough to know that what happened to me mattered. It should not have ever been minimized. And I'm smart enough now and finally have enough confidence behind me to just be like, this is what happened. And if you can't accept or deal with it, or if you can't talk about it with me, then you have no place in my life.
Right. And where I was raised, like our whole family goes to church, and perception is everything.
Yes. Well, perception is still strong in my family as well. I mean, they're carrying forward, and
Right.
so that they can be perceived as everything's going well.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm.
And and it's easy just to write off a few people in your family with some trauma, going, oh, every family has that one person.
Yeah.
I would say that growing up, the four of us, my mom's kids, were kind of like the black sheep of the family. Um, and and I would also say that as time has grown, uh, I have been brought in for a period of time as not the black sheep, where like grandma stood up for me and was like, I'm not going unless Brenda can go. Or, but over time that's gone back to I'm the black sheep again. And it's hard to trust, even what I'm getting at is hard to trust even family um, invites at times, because you want it to be real, but you don't know that it is.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're sitting behind my back, just all talking about what's wrong with your mom to my kids, and I don't know how to deal with that. They're grown kids now, so they can make their own decisions, they can do their own thoughts, and it is what it is. I mean, I'm just out here doing what I do, and if somebody doesn't like it, I'm sorry. I can't slow down what I feel like I'm meant to do, which is this. Um, because you think I'm having a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
um, it's not a midlife crisis.
I think it's just like a deep personal realization of everything, a
I-
deep processing, maybe.
Well, also, like, I think it's kind of like, like Grandpa's gotten nicer in his old age. So, where I haven't gotten nicer, I don't have the energy to fight with you anymore. I just will walk away. Screw the fighting. I'd rather spend my energy helping somebody
Yes.
than fighting. And if what we're discussing is only going to get more aggravated, then I need to walk away, because you don't have to believe what I believe, and I don't have to believe what you believe. But if it's so much of an issue that we can't sit at the same table, then let's not. Let's not. Let's use that same energy to help someone else find food, shelter,
Resources.
resources.
Therapy, anything.
Yeah, therapy, most definitely. There's definitely hotlines listed on my webpage as well. If you're in a crisis,
Therapy was a godsend. I did not know how much I needed it. Seriously.
I would have to say that kind of too. I'm still in therapy.
Yep.
And that's probably never going to go away.
Same.
Even though at times I feel like I don't need therapy.
I don't do it as much, but I still check in with her. Like, it was so good to get all that resource and information and somebody to sit there. And like I said, I had to be told, you've been through severe trauma. And I'm like, but have I? Like,
well, even when you would be telling me, you're like, it's nothing like what you've gone through. And I'm like, but it's still your trauma. So
Yeah.
don't lessen that.
Yeah. And you do have a tendency to like try to minimize your own situation, because literally everyone else around you has been doing that to you for years.
Well, and not just that. You hear other people's stories and you think, well, someone watching me and taking pictures is not as bad as someone actually touching me. but it's the same trauma. It's just as bad.
Yeah.
And you were so young, you don't even know if the touching ever happened or not. So
Yes.
it's not. No one's. Your pain is still the same as my pain.
Yes.
It's the worst you've ever felt.
Yeah.
That's why therapists and doctors, they ask what your pain level is on a scale of 1 to 10
Mm.
because they want to know how you hurt, because there's no real way to measure it. It's not like
I didn't even know how to process hurting. Like I did, it's like you don't give yourself permission to feel any of it, to process any of it. It's like you carry on and carry forward and just keep marching through days.
But sometimes that is necessary because you're so anxious, and if you don't focus on what you need to be doing, you're not.
I would agree
You're gonna
with
break
that.
down.
Yeah, but I think when you keep pressing forward and that,
I'm not saying so hard that you're not acknowledging you're in pain.
yeah.
I'm
Well, I would say, like, if you don't know that you're in pain, like you don't know how to process it, you're carrying a lot of anxiety with you. Like, I didn't even know what anxiety was, to be told what that was, too. But I was a very anxious person and couldn't have explained it to anybody. I didn't. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
No. So I have an aunt that excessively cleans her house.
Mm.
And I was talking to my counselor, and I was like, and she's got like OCD or something. She's like, nope, that's high anxiety.
Mm.
And I was thinking back about it, and I think about all the things I've ever seen my aunt do. I'm not going to give a name. And it is anxiety, and she probably does need help for that. I don't know why she would have so much anxiety, because she's had a good life, in my opinion. But there's things that are seen in the window and things that are done behind doors that I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know everybody's story.
And even if it was just like she wasn't allowed, she had to do all the chores, in her childhood. That could be her own little trauma, and it's just as valid as ours.
For sure.
Feeling so high pressured on, and like all the other kids got to be kids, but she didn't because she's the oldest or the youngest, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it is trauma, and people do need, for minor things that they think are minor or that couldn't have caused any mental displacement, for lack of better words. It does. I once was told that the trauma that I experienced from my life, and tattoos, is the same as a child hearing no for the first time. And to put that into perspective is insane,
Mm-hmm.
but it's real. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. They were told no for the first time. And it sounds silly, but it's not, because you can watch them. They will melt. They don't know what to do but scream.
Mm-hmm.
And in our highest moment of trauma, that's what we feel like doing too. And some of us really do, and some of us just go in the backyard and cut down some trees.
Do what you got to do to get through it.
And others of us just hide in a room and cry, or try to work it out themselves. And that's not always the best, because you're
No.
in your own head.
Yes.
And you're coming up with your own rules and your own regulations. And in a moment like that, regulating yourself isn't the best thing.
Right. Well, there was no regulation. It was just crying from sun up to sundown.
I get that too. So I'm not really sure, but I do know that holidays feel different after trauma.
For sure.
Even though my trauma was my whole life, I do remember the first Christmas after it was announced. And I do remember not wanting to participate in any of the reindeer games.
Mm-hmm.
And my family would be like coming up to me trying to get me to participate, and I wasn't having it. I couldn't tell you why I didn't want to participate. I couldn't tell you. I just wanted to run and hide and because I was embarrassed. I know that my family was trying to tell me, it wasn't my fault, that there was nothing to be embarrassed about, and to make me just keep pushing forward. Um, but I was 11, and I don't know if you have kids or remember when you were 11 years old, but there is nothing anyone can tell you to change their mind about whatever's going on in that moment, because you know everything. And I wish that I was as smart as I was then at now, because I don't know anything except for how I've survived to this point. And I want to share that with you guys. And I know, I remember my grandma even brought me a little pink keychain coin holder, and it said Converse on the side. It was a tennis shoe. And I remember pushing it away, going, I don't want that. And, um, she eventually gave me a little tiny, which I still have. Maybe I'll show it on the podcast. Matte pin mask. And at that point, I started collecting masks, and I had collected like 21
Mhm.
at one point, but some got broken through the years. I probably only have like 5 now, but um, all of them were very important to me because I knew when and who gave me each one of them, and it was having a collection like that made me feel good because it made me feel like somebody cared about me,
Mhm.
and because I never bought one for myself,
Yeah.
and it also made me feel like a sense of pride of something that I'm proud of, and um, and even though I didn't control how many I had, I didn't control. I controlled where they went,
Mhm.
where I stored them, and I have found myself. I used to like. I still am on some things like almost a control freak because of the trauma. Like I had no control, so I started controlling things like that,
Mhm.
to the point that it like almost drove me crazy at points.
Yeah.
And I've learned to let some of that stuff go now. I can. I don't need to control that,
Yeah.
But there's some things I still can't let go of. Um, but my life is much more peaceful letting go of some of those things
Yes.
that I don't need to control, and having control of the things I want control over. And with that recognition,
Realization.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I can better. I feel more equal, more
Mhm.
at peace, because I'm not trying to control things all the time. And that was, wow, that's crazy.
Mhm.
That's crazy in itself. And that's anxiety too.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt crazy when I was trying to tell everyone my story. Like when I figured the stuff out, and like I just had to let that stuff go. You know what I mean? People will people who want to hear your story will listen to your story, and they'll be active listeners and active in your life, active trying to help get you resources
Right.
and
Check on
whatnot.
you
Yeah.
and participate in your life.
Yes.
Yes. And I know, there was a time I did, attempt to unalive myself. And after I got out of the hospital, uh, my mother called to check on me. It had been like a week though. And so I was like, yeah, I took care of it a week ago. I'm not answering this phone. I'm not here. you know. And I hung up, and I saw the date on my phone as it was hanging up. It's November 11th, my mom's birthday. And so I immediately felt bad. She was checking on me, and it was her birthday. And I, instead of telling her happy birthday, thanks for checking on me, I was like a total beating. Um, but again, that was my pain I was wrapped up in and trying to get through, because so much stuff I thought I had worked through, I had not. I just had put it in a filing cabinet and locked it and walked away.
Yes, processing is important.
And that's bad because the things inside of that filing cabinet will rock their way out of there.
Yes, and show themselves in all sorts of ugly ways.
Hooks, a hook, it hooks things that you love and throws them back out in the ocean.
Mm.
I mean, on a real note, it takes the things you love away from you
It does.
because you push them away with your constant anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be around that all the time, anyways.
No.
So, I mean, I think I'm funny. Not everybody agrees.
You're funny sometimes. You're
So-
funny a good amount of the time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I sometimes take care of this lady, and she goes, "I bet you think you're funny, don't you?" I'm like, "Yep, and good looking." I don't know. I my grandma thinks I use everything they told us against them because I was outside smoking a Camel White one day, and she goes, "Is that Camel White you're smoking?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "Well, that's the worst cigarette you could smoke." And I said, "Who said that?" And for one, Grandpa said if I was going to do something, to do it right the first time. And she's like, "Damn it." And then I was like, I started drinking coffee because when I was younger, Grandpa told me not to drink it because it's semi growth.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started telling me I was getting too big for my britches and I had to do something.
I never got into coffee, but I did get into cigarettes. For sure.
And one time, Grandpa and Grandma drove by here and they stopped the car and Grandma yells out, "Your grandpa's going to be 82 tomorrow." And I leaned in the car and I said, "That reminds me of a bone to pick with both of you. If the good die young, neither one of you are as good as you said you were." I don't know. I just come up with this humor. And my therapist said, that she loves listening to me, that I'm so funny. And the saddest thing is that the funniest patients she has are the ones that hurt the most.
Oh, yeah. You use humor to deflect all that bullshit.
And what else would you use? I mean, who wants to sit around crying?
Nobody, but it's still important to process through it.
No, it is. But, my mom once said if I sat down and wrote down every joke I've ever said, that I'd be the richest comedian. Because I say some pretty funny stuff sometimes.
Sometimes.
And I did get, do you remember when we worked at Walmart together? And I was like arguing the fact that I wanted to leave an hour earlier
Mm-hmm.
than I was because I was getting all the work done. And Sean Bon
Jovi.
Yeah, Sean Bon Jovi said, "Well, all right, if you can get it all done, make me a list of everything you got done before you left and what time you left." And so I'd be leaving like an hour early, and everything we were supposed to do was on that list. And at the end of one of them, I wrote, "I will not be here tomorrow, for I have won the lottery, or it's my scheduled day off. But either way, I will not be here." The next day I came in, he was like, or when it was Amy, and me, we were all standing there. We're stalking. Amy was stalking. No, you were stalking, and me and Amy were talking. And Sean comes around the corner, and he's like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "I'm supervising." He's like, "So you're admitting you're doing nothing?" I said, "If that's what you do." I mean, he's like, "Get back to work."
Should have told him you were training for management.
I should have. Sean, or do you remember James Shea?
Mm-hmm.
He would be like, no, it wasn't James. It was Justin. The one that wore the big gaudy rings.
Hmm.
Justin, do you remember him?
Vaguely.
He's like, "Why were you late from your lunch?" I said, "I told you I had to do some errands and I would be late. However," and I had stopped by McDonald's and I had that clapper and a microphone from American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I went to American Idol tryouts, but I couldn't sing one word because they were clapping so loud. And he's like, remind me to never ask you another question again. Well, I'm just being silly now, so I'm sorry. This is my personality.
It very much is. But it is good to laugh through it. I agree with that. But it's also good to get to a point.
No, you have to be serious at some point and talk about it. You could even talk about it in jokes, just as long as you're working through it. I mean, like the first time I talked to the therapist after my unalive attempt, I was like, I don't even care that there was reindeer games, but I would like to be invited, and I probably would not have even went. But the fact that they did not invite me was devastating, and so she's trying not to laugh because I'm talking about reindeer games, and it's really just like Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, and I don't know. That's just it's the way I found it okay to talk about it out loud.
Yeah.
And however you got to do that, just do it.
For sure.
And I guess since there's no questions, look us up on our YouTube page. Again, it's Grandma B24, and
Look at the Soul Shelter.
as Soul Shelter as well. And comment anything you'd like. Message us. We would be happy to answer any questions we can. For legal purposes, we wouldn't be able to answer all questions because we are not therapists. We just play one on TV. And we'd be happy to have you join us on our next YouTube. Like and subscribe so you can catch that. And if there's nothing else you would like to say, I think we can
go ahead and close out.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice being here with you guys today. Thank you for all who joined in.
Yes. And I hope if any of you are seeing this after the live that if you have any questions, you feel free to still chat in the messages or send us a private message and we'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Have a great day.
Wow.